You play with the chickens. Don't act like a princess that you are. Come on.
Okay, but what if I don't want to touch disgusting dead worms today? Chill. I think she's laying an egg. Shut up. Y'all are so loud.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Juliet doesn't like me.
She doesn't. She likes me, though.
Oh, hush.
We first met Kai when she was just 5 years old, living in a conservative suburb of Houston.
When Mom thought I was a boy and dressed me like a boy, I did not like it. I already thought she knew I was a girl, but she didn't know, so I had to tell her when I was old enough to say it.
For nearly 2 years, Kai's mom, Kimberly Shapley, fought their local school board so that Kai could use the girls' bathroom.
The suicide rate for a transgender youth is 41%. That is why we are fighting so adamantly for these children.
Kimberly lost that battle.
Be allowed to use the restroom.
And in 2018, she moved her family to Austin, where she hoped Kai would be safe.
I'm dead, Kai. I'm dead.
But in late February 2022, following an opinion by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, Governor Greg Abbott ordered the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services, or DFPS, to investigate parents who support their trans kids' gender-affirming care for, quote, child abuse. The concern is that these children could be separated from their parents.
Oh my gosh, I missed you guys. Good to see you, cutie.
Good to see you too.
Over the past few years, Kai has become one of the most outspoken young trans activists in the U.S. In 2021, her testimony in front of the Texas State Senate helped stop a bill that would have criminalized gender-affirming care for minors.
I've been having to explain myself since I was 3.
This new directive is an attempt to stop trans youth from accessing medical care anyway, even though major medical associations say that care, which can be anything from puberty blockers to hormone treatments, is medically necessary.
Come on.
All right.
I'll show you upstairs.
So this is your room?
Yes, this is my room. This is Dolly Parton's posters. She gave them to me after I sent her a letter and a big box of stuff.
Awesome.
And she eventually sent something to me, so.
So cool.
And then over here are our beds.
Oh my gosh. How fun. This is, you guys get to have a slumber party every night.
Yeah, we have bed tents. They're really cool.
So cool. Do you ever think about this sort of what ifs?
I obviously still feel worried and nervous, but I'm not exaggeratively worried because I know that we'll make it.
In those moments when you do worry, what are some of those thoughts that go through your mind?
Well, what if they took me away from Mom? What if they arrested Mom? What if they took me somewhere? What if they forced me to be somebody who I wasn't? Mm-hmm. I always have these thoughts moving through my head, what if this happens? Should I do this? Should I jump out the window?
Has that sort of escalated in the last few days?
It's been getting a bit worse, but whenever I needed some help or anything, I would let one of my friends know, like Sky, or let my mom know, and we would chat. My mom's been with me my whole life. I wouldn't have made it without her.
Why have you been sleeping with me the last 2 nights?
Well, I have 2 reasons. One, so that I wake up on time. The second is because I'm a bit afraid of what's been going on.
You need to remember that there are... What?
There are more people with us than it comes stuff.
And you need to remember that it's my job to...
Worry, and it's my job to tell my story.
Okay?
When the governor came out with the order a few days ago, what was your experience sort of seeing that?
Initially, just texting with other moms just to literally, and calling just to cry with each other. And then the text messages started coming. CPS called me today. And your heart drops. And you're just, this can't be happening. You're totally numb and this can't be happening. And then, the next text message comes and you're like, oh my God, this is literally happening. What do we do? Who do we ask? Who do we call?
Do you talk to Kai about what to do if a CPS investigator showed up? What to say, what not to say?
I did talk to her about if CPS were to show up at school, just get on her Instagram and go live and keep her phone on. And I told her the ways that I would be able to track her, and that I would come get her. Make no mistake, I will come get you. I want you to think about Kai being taken from my home and given a boy's haircut and made to wear boy clothes and called by her dead name 24 hours a day, where no one will affirm her because they want to fix her. Yeah. I will find her.
Within 48 hours of Abbott's directive, 5 Texas district attorneys declared their offices wouldn't pursue cases against parents of trans kids. And even some of those tasked with enforcing the directive disagree with it. One DFPS investigator agreed to speak with us anonymously.
Do parents have to answer the phone, answer the door, or talk to an agent like you?
No. They can say no. They don't have to resign releases. They don't have to let us in their home. I don't think the average person knows that.
You are risking your job by talking to us. Why is it that important to do this interview?
I know that these children are in great homes. I know they're not being physically abused. The first time I've ever talked to a reporter, the reporter was crying. Excuse me, my apologies. My apologies. Made the comment that the family was impeccable. And then there was the only reason was that the person is a mandated reporter.
This isn't a bigot. It's not a hateful person. It's not someone who's anti-trans. It's someone who just felt like they had to do this or they would lose their job.
This is very dramatic, and forgive me, but the only thing I could think of was Nazi Germany, that you had to turn in your neighbors. It's insanity to me with all the problems going on. This is what we're dealing with. I have to call all of these wonderful people out to protect kids, and that's what we do for a living. That's literally in the interviews, ma'am. That's what we tell them, is that to get them kind of a trust factor. It's like, my whole job is to protect you. That's all I do. And in these cases, I can't tell them that.
What do you fear about this order?
My fear is that these children will be taken back to where we were 30 years ago, because those people that do believe in this, who have power, are using that power for political reasons, not safety. And I can't imagine that we would tell them, these parents, not to protect their children.
The order against trans kids in Texas is among this year's most drastic anti-trans policies so far. But it's not the only one. 32 states have introduced over 128 anti-trans bills, and 37 of those bills focus on outlawing gender-affirming care for minors.
Save our families! Save our families! Save our families!
The idea that our political leaders throw our kids under the bus to score political points is nauseating.
So we are here, we're gonna stay, and that's it. So protect trans youth!
We're here, we're queer, get used to it! We're here, we're queer, get used to it!
So what have the last few days been like since the governor issued this order?
It's really just been an absolute all-out attack on this community, and unfortunately it's nothing new. This last legislative session, we had the most anti-trans bills introduced ever in the state, and so it's just been kind of a constant barrage of attacking this beautiful, wonderful, resilient community.
What was your reaction when you saw the order come through?
I was heartbroken. All everyone wants to do is keep their kids alive, and that's hard enough.
I was a trans kid. This would have affected me. This affects a lot of trans kids that I know. It's so divorced from reality, divorced from science.
Opposition to Abbott's order is mounting. After a lawsuit, a judge has already temporarily blocked a DFPS investigation into one family. The AG appealed immediately, and the case seems to be heading towards a drawn-out legal battle. In the meantime, clinics like the Texas Children's Hospital have already stopped providing hormone treatments. And families like Kai's are left in limbo.
It's been trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. And the only goal I have is to protect my kids. I have no agenda. The mood in Texas is so dangerous. I mean, you know my evangelical background. I mean, I am a Christian, but what's happening in Texas is so much bigger than just what's happening to trans kids. And I think we better recognize it really, really soon. So will I move? Yes. Will I leave everything behind? If I have to. Will I fight like hell? Yes.
Trans kids are taking it upon themselves to educate the public. Earlier this year, Kai and her friend Sky, a 13-year-old girl from Arizona, started a YouTube show, Kai and Sky Talk Politics. Every week, they interview other trans kids around the country and inform their audience about issues facing their communities. They let us take a peek at one of their rehearsals.
I put it up on the computer so I can screen share. Hi guys, welcome to Kai and Sky Talk Politics, a trans kid production. My name is Skylar Morrison, I'm 13 years old and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Kay Shapley. My pronouns are her, she, like the candy bar.
So much is going on in anti-trans legislation this week, the first week of March 2022, and everything is moving so quickly.
SB 1138 in Arizona. This bill would make it illegal to have any gender-affirming care under the age of 18.
There was some good news this week out of Utah where HB 0127, a trans healthcare ban, has died.
Another one of the good things that's going on is the ACLU of Texas is suing the state of Texas from investigating parents who support their trans kids. Cases are being opened and investigated right now, and parents are being urged to refuse to talk to DFPS. If they call, do not let them in your home, and immediately reach out for legal resources. Resource lists offered by ACLU of Texas, Equality Texas, and Lambda Legal. Whatever your gift or talent, please use that to help trans kids.
If you're a trans kid, we would love to invite you to be a guest on our show and share your experience being a trans kid in politics. Send either of us to DM on Twitter and Instagram.